afternoon to everyone that's joining us. Thank you for your time and joining us today. Our topic is coronavirus, rethinking everything to enable today's workforce.
At Technology Source, we often refer to the elements of business success. This table allows us to quickly communicate the vast offerings we source on behalf of our clients. These range from cybersecurity, business optimization, software and applications, connectivity, voice and communications, marketing services, mobility, and cloud and infrastructure.
Let's introduce our next panelist. This is Mr. Mark Harris and Mr. Dave Zahn. These two gentlemen come to us today from, their homes, but they are from TPX Communications. I'll go ahead and introduce Dave. Dave leads the TPX's marketing organization with direct responsibility for product marketing and product management. He played a central role in TPX's successful evolution from a traditional telecom carrier to a leading communications provider of Connect Cloud and continuity for today's business. All things that we are very grateful for your organization having for our customers. I'd like to turn that over to you, Dave. We do have a question, and that is, what is TPX doing right now to help customers?
At the end of the day, it's to educate them on what working from home can and should be. My view, and working from home does not mean just having a cell phone and email connectivity. I think there's a lot of people out there who think that that's a successful work from home environment. And at TPX, we want to educate our customers, the market overall, salespeople, agents, that to create a successful, productive work from home environment, you got to think about a lot more than just basic phone connectivity and email access. And what we'll walk you through today, and the audience here, is how we think about that and what we've been doing for a number of years, and feel that we're in a good place right now to help customers through this big and super important transition for them. TPX, for those of you who don't know us, we're a national MSP focused on unified communications, contact center solutions, managed IT and managed security, cybersecurity services, as well as connectivity. Many of you know us for back in the previous TPX days of providing lots of connectivity and dial tone, but we do so much more than that nowadays, and really specialize in helping customers simplify their vendor solutions by being able to rely upon us for a broad swath of services spanning what I just rattled off. We're a 1,300 employee business that has employees across the country. And we have mobilized 100% of our workforce to work from home. We actively have 95% of our employees working from home. The other 5% are stationed at various network operation centers, repair centers, and the like. But 100% are capable, 95% are actively working from home using many of the very tools that we'll be talking to you about today. It's funny, the comment I think you made, Sonia, earlier about the pandemic, disaster planning exercises. We do what we call a BCP every year, business continuity plan test, every single year, and usually it's done in the fall. A guy who runs that, and he always comes up with some series of events that we orchestrate and practice our business continuity execution and plans in relation to whatever he has in store for us. So it could be an earthquake, it could be a cybersecurity event, all sorts of things, some other sort of natural disaster. This year he was planning on he actually said the other day that we probably won't do it in the fall because of all the practice we're getting here, unfortunately. Something that we practice every single year, and I've been able to execute that pretty quickly here. Working from home is not just about having a cell phone where your calls at work are being call forwarded to. Being able to do all the things that you can do at your desk at work, but do it at home, is important for productivity and efficiency, and providing your customers with the right experience and the experience they're used to. And being able to transfer a call to a fellow employee may sound like a small task, but it's a nice feature to provide that experience to your customer or coworker that they're used to. And telling them to, hang up the phone and call whomever they're looking for on their cell phone it's just not the same experience. And so those are the kinds of things, those are the kind of use cases that I think it's incumbent on all of us to help educate our customers out there, so that they understand that what working from home and working remotely can and should be. Our view on all of this is that, we've been doing this for a number of years. We've been enabling work from home solutions of various types, and we actively practice it. On a normal case basis, we're 25-30% work from home. Now we're 95%, as I mentioned, and could be 100% if we absolutely had to. Our message out there is we're here to help. We know this very well. We know how to do it as a company that practices it, but we also know how to do it because of the services that we offer. And we go beyond unified communications into other areas that I'll talk through here. So today we'll just kind of go through remote. We know it's a good idea, challenges that we all should expect, and services that can get companies ready. And of course, where and how TPX can help. Just kind of jumping in here, obviously the pitch before all this coronavirus was upon us. Working remotely, selling the value of creating a remote workforce was a big deal, big push. Lower costs, improved performance, improved employee satisfaction, obviously higher productivity. As I mentioned, we live this every single day. I've mentioned we're 100% capable with 95% active right now. So we are proof that we can do it. And as I mentioned, our staff uses many of the same tools that we'll be talking about here today. So I've talked about some of the challenges. I think the perception out there is that working from home, like I said, is having a cell phone and email. To me, it's so much more than that, and it's even beyond that in terms of the tools, but also just maintaining good working experience and a good collaboration and employee interaction. You want to be able to see the people that you normally work with and drive that collaboration and interaction as well. So enabling and providing those tools that facilitate that. And of course, the security is a big deal. Expand the communication, collaboration, and cybersecurity. These are services that we can do all under one roof from TPX. So when we talk about unified communications, it's about the experience of the call pull. That's a great use case. Using instant messaging that leads to a phone call, that leads to video conferencing, having a conference with one or more than one other person with video, so on and so forth, having visibility to presence. Those are all things that you should really have on a day-to-day experience, but are even that much more important when you're working remotely. You want to be able to see people and reach out to them quickly and efficiently, productively as well. Since you can't just walk down the hall and just go and ask somebody a question now in a cube pass. On the security side, firewall is super important. What we're seeing is really solid demand for VPN connectivity. So customers that had a firewall and, they didn't necessarily enable VPN connectivity for their employees because they didn't really have to worry about it. Now they do. And so we're seeing customers invoke the VPN capabilities as well as deploy firewalls. Again, it's about enabling the workforce who's now remote to come into the network safely and securely. And if there are certain assets that they need to get to that others shouldn't get to, you may need to segment out the network appropriately. And so customers must think about cybersecurity, and a managed firewall with VPN connectivity is an important part of that. Office 365, from a cloud application perspective, this is super important. We're hearing about customers that are wanting to increase their bandwidth because they're drawing upon all these applications that are sitting resident at their facility. Well, if one of those applications was email, because they have an old Exchange server, this is a great opportunity to push that into the cloud through Office 365. Secure, still maintains, the compliance that they're looking for, privacy protection, but it gives the customer or their end users and employees access to their emails without having to come into their infrastructure and increase bandwidth to have to maintain that infrastructure as well. So there are lots of benefits and capabilities Office 365 enables. Managed endpoints. So think about all these endpoints now that are coming into this network. So it's nice that you have the firewall, but think about these endpoints themselves, downloading attachments or looking at emails, so on and so forth. You want to make sure that those devices coming into the network and sending emails and going to websites are properly protected as well. This is a service that TPX uses, and certainly we find extremely useful. So it's very important. Think about those personal computers that people want to connect to or connect from, not necessarily a work laptop, for example. So what we've done as part of our response to the coronavirus is we've tried to bundle these services into what we call a work from home solution suite. We just put the VPN, the unified communications, the endpoint protection, and the Office 365 into one package. Not one package from a pricing perspective, but in terms of speaking to it in the context of solving a work from home solution, that's how we're approaching it, to make it easy for you, easy for our customers to understand how to think about what the many aspects of enabling a work from home environment. What I'll do here is I'll turn it over to Mark Harris in just a sec. What we've done for the coronavirus response is that we want to give customers really no financial obstacle to giving it a try and getting their employees onto some of these services. 3 free months. We also have a month-to-month addendum as well. We'll get them situated on a long-term solution when they're past the next few months here. But right now we wanted to offer these services for 3 free months and with a month-to-month addendum if necessary. What we'd love to do is get them on a longer-term infrastructure so that should they need this solution in the future again, they've got it for whatever reason. So Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
So at the end of the day, to kind of echo how Dave opened it, as well as our colleague Jeff, he's trying to mitigate the concerns and, if not, some of the anxiety that a lot of customers have in kind of transferring to a remote workforce. And the good news is, companies like TPX, we live this and breathe this every day and have for the last 2+ decades, but more so, I would say, in the last 5+ years. And so at the end of the day, regardless of the products or the solutions that you implement to better kind of elevate the productivity of your organization versus just placing a Band-Aid to get by until this pandemic ends, how do you stay active? How do you stay productive? How do you scale and maintain the flexibility perhaps required not only to operate internally with your employees, but more importantly, probably reach and monitor and manage your customers. And at the end of the day, it's the DNA of our service model and how we service and support our customers, and kind of how we leverage the partnership with Technology Source, elevate that customer experience. And I think between the two of us, Technology Source and TPX, we're able to, as I mentioned, minimize disruption, enhance security and productivity, and give you peace of mind whether or not you need 1, 2, or a myriad of different services that allow you to stay productive in today's climate.
Great. Thank you, guys. So let's go over some questions that came in. There was quite a few while you were speaking. One of the questions was 3 months of UCX service. Can you explain what those services are, and MSX service? Can you explain what those services are?
We break our products up into 3 different product lines. We have our UCX product line that includes our various UCCs, as well as then our MSX, which is our managed IT service product line. So that's where SD-WAN, Office 365, managed firewall, managed endpoint sit, and then we have a connectivity product line as well, basic bandwidth, MPLS, and so on. So what we're saying here is that for certain like UCX, managed WAN, managed firewall, managed endpoints, those sorts of services would qualify for that 3-month free offer that we have.
Great, thanks for that feedback. So this question, organizations right now are cutting costs, a lot of them, and they're focused on how can they do that. Are there solutions that you guys offer that could actually help save money? Because I know right now we're thinking, okay, these are services, that means it's automatically going to add a cost every month, well, unless they're free, obviously. But longer term thinking here, with this financial impact that some businesses are facing, are there services right now that might be able to be utilized from TPX that could actually save money?
I just advise anybody look at these kinds of decisions to look at it as the total cost of ownership. So whether it's specific to PBX on-prem solution that Jeff just described, it could also be some of the other costs. Real estate obviously is going to be a huge opportunity for businesses to reevaluate what their real estate needs are. So that becomes part of the total cost of ownership calculation. There are vendor costs for PBX solutions. There's, maybe a reduction in bandwidth services at a host site. There's, I think, lots of opportunities to lessen maybe some dependence on multiple vendors doing different things for you to leverage, TPX in our case to consolidate so that you don't have so many employees having to manage vendors. Those are the sorts of, there are maybe in some cases softer costs. So it's a combination of the hard costs that Jeff mentioned and soft costs that you have to kind of look beyond and look from a TCO perspective to get a better feel for it.
Join us every Tuesday from now till May at 10 a.m. Pacific Time for the Technology Source Virtual Roundtable Series.